So there it is. So 9.4. So x squared plus y squared is 80. And y minus x is 4. Okay, well, what are we doing here? We're solving more than one equation at the same time, which we've done before, but now one of them has higher powers. That's why they call it nonlinear systems of equations. Nonlinear means not x to the first power and y to the first power. See the second equation? That's a linear. This one is linear. Because why? Because x and y are just first power. Meaning if you graphed it, it would be a straight line. Anytime you just have x and y to the first power, if you graph them, they're always straight lines. Whereas this one is non-linear. Why? Because x and y are not just to the first power. They're higher powers. When you have higher powers, what does that do to the graph, the picture? It makes curvature come in. The bending in the graphs come from higher powers. So that top one is not a linear equation. The graph is not a line. So this is a non-linear system. System meaning more than one equation. So it's a non-linear system. How do you handle more than one equation at the same time if one of them is not even a line? Because earlier we did two at a time, but they were both lines. Well, basically you plug one into the other is the story. So start, so here's the first step. Start with easier. Which one of those two is an easier equation? Well, the linear one. It just has first power, so that's easier. You start with the easier, meaning first power. Start with that one. Get x or y alone. Plug into the other. So get either x or y alone, doesn't matter which one, and then plug that into the other equation. So you're always plugging one equation into the other. So let's take this second bottom easier equation and let's solve for y. How do I solve for y there? I jump the x to the other side. Y equals x plus 4. And then I take that and I plug it into the other for y. Does that make sense what I'm doing there? So this one becomes x squared plus x plus 4 squared is 80. Is that good so far? Everybody see what happened there? Am I losing you? So this y squared became x plus 4 squared. Because why? Because y is x plus 4. Y equals x plus 4. Wherever you see y, you can replace it with x plus 4 because y is x plus 4. Okay, so now you got to work that out. So that means x plus 4, x plus 4. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. We good to there? Oh, good to there. X squared and x squared is 2x squared. 4x and 4x is 8x. These are going to be kind of long, so I'm going to take it to a new screen. I'll go back if you missed that. So was it 2x squared plus 8x plus 16? Is that good to there so far? Is that making sense? I got y alone in the easier equation. Plug it into the harder equation. And now I got to solve this for x. What am I going to do to solve for x there? Yeah, subtract, got to get a 0, huh? Whenever we have x squared, we always have to get a 0. So subtract 80 from both sides. Minus 64. Pull out the 2. Like that. Factor out the 2. And then we can factor that, can't we? Am I going too quick? What multiplies to be 80 adds to be 4. What did I say, 80? What multiplies to be 32? I don't know where that 80 came from. I look it up at the 80, I guess. What multiplies to be 32? What times what is 32?
8 times 4.
8 times 4, yeah. And the sign in the middle, yeah, the plus goes in the bigger. Plus 8 minus 4. And now you set each part that has an x equal to 0. Notice, who cares about that 2? He doesn't have an x, so he can't make anything equal 0. He can't vary. He doesn't have a variable. He's just 2. 2 doesn't make anything 0, not by multiplying. So it's just this part and this part, so really the answers are just negative 8 and positive 4. But we need a y value to go with each of those. Those are the x values. Remember, when you're solving 2 letters, you got to find the other one. So plug in, right? We just plug each of those in. That's pretty easy. So now we'll just say, okay, plug in. Where do you plug in? Well, you go back to the original, and you have your choice. I would grab the easier one, for sure. In fact, I would even grab this one. Here, y is already alone. That was the easier one before I plugged it in with y already alone. That's the best version to plug into. I'm looking for y, and y is already alone there from the easier of the 2 equations. Always use the easier one. So y equals x plus 4. So put in the minus 8. Y equals minus 8 plus 4. Y is minus 4. So minus 8 minus 4. And over here, y is x plus 4. 4 plus 4, 8. So this can be 4, 8. This x of 4 led to y of 8. This one over here is x negative 8 led to y negative 4. Everybody see that? X negative 8 led to y negative 4. This is x 4 led to y 8. So there's the 2 answers. They want you to type in just like that. They want you to type in negative 8, negative 4, that's x, y, comma, 4, 8. That's what they want you to type in. There it is. The 2 answers that solve the whole system. So those are a fair bit of work. We're at the end of the course here where all these algebra is pretty tough. We're kind of edging into advanced algebra here at the end. Pre-calculus. I do this in pre-calc. I did this with my pre-calc students this semester. This is basically pre-calculus work right here. Questions on that one? Okay. Save you some work and give you what you need probably. So, yeah, let's take these 2. So the first one is y squared is x plus 10. Second one is 6y is x plus 19. Okay, so we're supposed to start with the easier equation. Which one's the easier? The bottom one, because it doesn't have any powers on x or y. It's linear. The bottom one's the linear one. X and y are just first power. Whereas the top one has a y squared. So the bottom one's easier. Start with the bottom one. Now, starting with this bottom one, remember what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get one of the letters alone. It doesn't matter in general which letter, x or y. What would be easier? I don't want to get y alone because I'd have to divide by 6, and that would make fractions. Right? If I try to get that y alone, I have to go like this. I don't want that. That's fractions. So you see what I'm saying about like pick an easier way? Get the x alone instead. Jump the 19 this way, so 6y minus 19 is x. So there's no fractions. See how we did that? It's making sense? And then bring the top. Now you gotta, what do you gotta do with that? Gonna take that and plug it in right there. Right in this slot. You plug it, you always plug into the other equation, don't you? Plug into the other equation. So that would be y squared equals x, which is 6y minus 19. Plus 10. Is that good? We see what I did there? See how this used to be the x, but now it's the 6y minus 19 that we plugged in? So now we have an equation with y squared. Can you solve that? You know what to do, right? Get a zero factor, which you've done a lot of times. Is that going to be minus 9 and then jump those over? So minus 3 minus 3. So y is 3, huh? So we actually have one answer. It's the same answer twice. We've only got one answer. What do we do now with that one answer? Plug it in. And where do we plug it in? Well, somewhere in one of these first two, but always the easier one. Guess where the easiest place to go? I have y, so which letter am I wanting? X. So go right here again. Do you see how that's already got x alone? Do y'all see how I'm picking what to plug into to finish? I'm asking myself, I'm saying, hey, I've already got y, so I want x. Is there anywhere where x is already alone? Well, yeah, right there. X is already alone. So that'd be the easiest place, huh? So just plug in right there. X is already alone. Put in the 3. 6 times 3 minus 19. What's that? 18 minus 19. X is minus 1. So the answer is minus 1 for x. And y is 3. X, y, minus 1 comma 3. There it is. Questions on that? Is that good?
Yeah,
What you got?
a little confused about the answer what you gave.
Oh, there we go. Okay. It's more of the same. So which one should you start working with on that one? The second one's the easier one. What are you going to do? Get x or y alone, plug into the top one. So why don't we just get x alone on the bottom one? Be easy enough. It's just going to add the y over, so 3 plus y, or y plus 3, whichever. And then plug that in for x in the top equation.
For both of them, or just the x squared?
Yeah, good question. Both slots. Both places you find x. Plug in. Yeah, good. So jump the y over. X equals y plus 3. And take that y plus 3 and put it in. Oops, what did I do? I messed up. Oh, okay, there we go. That's good. Yeah. I got confused for a minute. Is that okay? That makes sense? So I did the red where the x was. So x was here, it's now y plus 3. X squared is now y plus 3 squared. X was here in front of y, now it's y plus 3 in front of y. Is that good? In both x slots, as was asked, that's a good question. In both x slots, y plus 3 is put in the place of x. And then guys, can I go dot, dot, dot? You're like, well, if we can go dot, dot, dot in the homework, Mr. Herring. No, I'm sorry. I want to go on and cover some more for you to help you on some of the hard ones. The rest is just terrible from there. I mean, it's just a lot of work, isn't it? You got to FOIL all that out and gather like terms. But you know, it's nothing new. It's just a lot. Got to do all that work. All right, I'm going to move on. On this one, you could really work with either equation. It doesn't really matter a lot. 5a plus b is 8, and the second one is b equals 32 minus a squared. So yeah, so the top one is the easier equation on this one. Really, you could do the bottom one, though it doesn't matter. I'll just keep following my rule of easier one. So the top equation is the easier this time, isn't it? Because it doesn't have any squares. It's linear. Top equation is linear. So what would be the easiest letter to solve for in the top equation? B, because you don't want to solve for A because you'd have to divide by that 5 and that would make fractions, right? So it's easier to just grab this top equation, jump the 5a over, and we'll get B equals 8 minus 5a. So B is 8 minus 5a. So plug that in for B in the second. So 8 minus 5a equals 32 minus a squared. Does that make sense there? What I did? Just plug the top equation into the bottom. And now well, let me do one more step. So now you would need to, I'm just going to bring, you got a squared, so you got to get a 0. And you don't want negative a squared. That's hard to have the front term negative. So I'm going to jump everybody to the left. So that'll become a positive a squared, a negative 32, and a 0. See what happened there? And now it's a squared minus 5a. And then these two make minus, is it 24? Yeah, minus 24. You can factor that. In fact, I'm almost there, so I'm just going to finish. Minus 3 minus 8. No, that's not right, is it? Because that two negatives wouldn't make negative 24. Is that factorable? It's trickier than I thought. 4 and 6. 2 and 12. It doesn't factor, does it? I don't think that factors. Am I missing something? 3 and 8, 4 and 6, 2 and 12. Oh, yeah, I'm just spacing out. Thanks. Thank you. Negative 8, positive 3, yeah, that was easy. So positive, and then just opposite, so positive 8, negative 3. Then you just have to plug each of those in, right? So you guys tracking with, you okay with how to finish these? So A is 8, or A is negative 3. Now, this is the whole ancestor thing. Each of those will lead to a descendant. We got to plug it in. Where do you plug in?
Back to the
Original, but remember, I have A. I want B. Is there any place on the screen where B's already alone? Right here. Yeah. See, it's almost always the thing we plugged in that we plug back into at the end. That's the easiest, isn't it? Because B's already alone there. 8 minus 5A, just plug that in. Same thing over here, 8 minus 5A, just plug that in. And so then what do you get? You get B is 8 minus 5 and A is 8. 8 minus 40 minus 32. 8 minus 5 times negative 3. 8 plus 15. 23. So there we go. Now remember, you got to, who goes with who? Well, who led to whom? The A8 led to the B negative 32, so they go together. They're related. And the A negative 3 led to the B 23. Negative 3, 23. Comma between them, there we go. Is that good? A lot of work, kind of the same thing every time. I want to jump ahead and see if there's anything else weird I need to point out to you. But it's about being wise about solving for what's easy and plugging in the easiest way possible. Because you don't want fractions, right? You don't want to ever make fractions. Those are tedious. Okay, so at the end of the course. I'm trying to get through it fast, and it will not get through fast. Okay, which equation's easier? The bottom one a little bit, because the x is not squared. So that would be the easiest way to go. Take that bottom equation and get that x alone, since it's first power, and plug that into the top. So bottom equation, y squared is x plus 7. Jump the 7 over. X is y squared minus 7. Plug that in right there. Ooh, that's going to be a pain. Plug that in right there. What we can get? We're going to get a mess. Y squared minus 7 squared. Does everybody see that? Y squared minus 7 squared. Plus y squared is 49. So what does that mean? Y squared minus 7, y squared minus 7. And then so FOIL that out, so we're going to get y to the 4th minus 7y squared minus 7y squared plus 49 plus y squared is 49. Look at that mess. These problems are not easy. So right, I FOILed that out, got that big mess. Okay, and so I'm getting y to the 4th. These two make minus 14 plus 1 is minus 13y squared. Plus 49 is 49. Subtract 49 from both sides. This is y to the 4th minus 13y squared is 0. Let me hold up. Am I losing you? Do you see what happened there? So I got x alone in the bottom equation, plugged it into the top. That meant this big old FOIL, gathered like terms, subtract 49, got a 0. Right, that's what we always do. We always get a 0 when we have high powers, huh? So we've got a 0 over there. How do I finish solving that now? Factor out the y squared, right? See that? They have y squared in common, don't they? So that means the first y squared is 0. And y squared minus 13 is 0. Oops. And so that square root it, so y is just 0. This one, move the 13 over. Y squared is 13. Square root up and down the ladder, so y is plus or minus root 13. So y is 0 or plus or minus root 13. And then you got to plug to the original equation up there to solve for x. Yeah. So, yep. I don't got time to do any more of this one. We good there? So there's more to come, but you'd have to go on and get x now. So we got the y answers. We got 3 answers: 0, plus root 13, minus root 13. Those are the y's. Each of those will lead to x's. And where are you going to plug in? Where's the easiest place to plug in? We want x. Where's x already alone? Right there. Always go where the thing is already alone. Right?